In just about every stream I do, people ask what would be the best tip I can give them for a new Blood Death Knight. And regardless of how I typically answer that on the live stream, this video and this discussion we're going to have about this video is the answer. You looking at this and understanding what happens here and how to solve what happens here, this is the best advice I can give, especially if you're new to tanking five mans in general, but especially on Blood Death Knight, because these mistakes are going to be far more commonplace on Blood DK than probably all other tanks put together. So this, especially this topic here, is a kind of a summary of something that I would call a run defining mistake, right? Something that up until now, everything was going as good as possible. And the way we handle this series of mistakes ultimately ends up costing us what should have been an easy upgrade. I mean, we have 7 minutes left with Zul about to die on a 20 King's Rest. This is an easy upgrade and it ends up being a deplete. So you're going to see why. So let's get to it. So the trouble actually starts here. Now, Zul, of course, is a very dangerous mob. And if you've never fought this on a high fortified, you'll be surprised at how dangerous this mob is. It's a very, this is a run defining pack right here. And it's a single mob. It gives a fair amount of count. You can no longer skip it. So you are fighting it every week. And of course, on certain fortified weeks, it is extremely dangerous. It's got a lot of health. And the danger doesn't stop when he dies. So you're going to see here that we are actually good. We did not bloodlust. Okay. So a lot of people come here and they want to bloodlust on this Zul. And I am not necessarily in love with it. But I definitely am going to thank them if we do it. Because for the most part, this is going to be just as hard as anything else in this dungeon, if not the hardest thing for me. Now, a lot of other tanks might feel like this is the hardest thing in the game for them. You know, you might hear that from Prot Warrior. I've seen people try to kite this mob, try to do all kinds of crazy stuff. But honestly, as long as the healer's ready to use CDs and they can heal me, like fair enough, you know, like well enough, I'm going to be pretty good here. Like it's all magic damage. He does no physical damage. So obviously, you know, you have to play differently when fighting this mob. But the real problem is that when we lusted, I completely changed my mental state going forward. Okay. I thought, all right, well, this next boss is going to be a joke. So I kind of like checked out, honestly. And that's a big mistake that I didn't intend to make, but I kind of did make. And if you watch this live, you would know that the first minute of the fight that's coming up here, I was like, oh, this is a joke. We're going to crush this now, right? And it ends up that's kind of where it all started, right? It's the psychology of what happens right now kind of carries over into what's yet to come. And you're going to see this is properly where the problems begin. So the mob is dead. I still have 6 seconds. You can probably barely see it, but I have 6 seconds on the buff there. And I should live, but I'm very low. I vamp it up. I have 317k health. That should be plenty to survive, but watch what happens. So this thing here has to be soaked. And as you see here, this guy's getting to it late one way or the other. He gets to it. And does he? Yeah, so he dies. That's what happens. So he just dies. And then I die from that damage. So let's see if we can't see that again in real time. You'll see it a little bit more clearly. The damage I'm taking is right here. So as you see, I'm taking a lot of damage, right? But then as he steps in it, as you see, I take that big 200 and some thousand hit from that, plus the tick I'm taking. And that is effectively the key. I mean, that one thing would not have been the reason we die, but now my whole headspace is different. Like, I'm like, all right, that's it. That's definitely the last time we're going to have any mistakes. Just get back. This key is over. And I almost kind of like, it was like, I like a little bit of elation that I died there because I'm thinking like, all right, good. That's as good as that's going to go without bloodlust. We got through that. Now it's time. We're just going to coast. I'll hang out for a bit. But of course, you know, having to commit CDs, like people also, it's not just me and the key, right? Other people might look at that differently. They might think, oh my God, what's going on? You know what I mean? The tank just died, and it's probably confusing to people, right? So like, you know, 2 deaths there. The guy's confused about releasing. So, you know, time's lost there. It's just like a very uneasy period of the dungeon when this kind of thing happens. So the way to prevent that mistake is just bloodlust. You know what I mean? If we lusted there, that would not have happened. Period. There's multiple ways you could talk about not dying there, but frankly, you probably just got to lust on Zul, right? Like that's the thing. Not lusting on Zul is really, you better be really confident, or I guess maybe the other way around. You're really worried about the last boss, but yeah, really confident on Zool to not lust on a fortified, especially at 20. Okay, so now this is where the actual, this is where the key ends, and I'm going to show you why here. Okay, so right out of the gate, as you see, I don't have a potion up. Now, this isn't the biggest deal. Like, this isn't the reason that we win or lose. But because I died back there, I used a speed pot to get here faster. Mostly because I was worried about my mob killing people, killing even more people. I was thinking, if we lose this key, it's going to be because we full wiped to that out of combat death. Because that was an out of combat death that basically almost caused a full wipe. So I felt like, oh, no, speed pot. I better get here as fast as possible so this berserker doesn't kill people. But I don't get a pre-pot here, and that kind of sets the tone. All of this sets the tone for what happens next. So let's take a nice look at it, okay? So we get a little bit of a rocky start because the mob wasn't, let's see, was he active? Because the mob, I don't know, I threw D&D down and he didn't come to me immediately. And that, yeah, he's there. I don't know why. I just threw D&D down mad late. See, like, he should have been down already. I want to throw it down 1 second prior to the pull, and then, do the full rotation, pull him into it with the taunt. But so, like, I don't know, like that kind of thing, like when the mob runs to the wrong target, it always makes me worry because I feel like I missed my first global, and it kind of, yeah, again, all of these small things kind of start adding up mentally for me. So here you're going to see a relatively poor job with this mechanic. I don't fully understand how this mechanic works, but this is far more damage than I would expect to take and have to deal with on a 20 fortified. Like, I don't really know how it works, obviously. As a tank, I never deal with it. But this guy almost dying here is kind of scary to me. He's got the leap, quacking leap. He takes, oh yeah, like almost 80% of his health and damage. So I don't know, is that normal? You guys tell me, but kind of the going thing here is just kind of not getting lucky, I guess. This whole fight is a summary, could be I didn't get the luck I needed. Now, just not pairing the blade combo. See, I'm getting hit. I got hit by everyone there. Okay, that's very rare. I have like 50% parry with certain procs and stuff, so it's very rare for me to get hit by more than 2 out of the 4. But it shouldn't matter. Now that is what does matter. Okay, so in case you haven't noticed, we didn't bloodlust until the boss was at 80%. So we should, if we're gonna lust, there's 2 different solutions here. Okay, most people have just stopped lusting on the pull of this boss when they do lust, and you're gonna see why, which ultimately does cause the wipe. But if you're gonna lust at the start of the fight, it has to be on the pull and not 30 seconds into it. So, regardless of the no paw and the scuff star, and CDs are awkward because of the run back and the timing. If you're gonna lust at this part of the fight, it has to be now. So what I think happened here was somebody told him, if you're gonna lust on the last boss, you lust when the pet spawns, right? Because I think that's what triggers it. He lusts on the first pet, but yeah, like look at how much damage I'm taking there. That was with the essence up, by the way. Let's just go back to that. If I didn't use the essence there, I die here. So I'm at 67% when it starts the blade combo. The first hit takes me to 51. The second hit, I guess maybe I do parry. Let's see if we can't see exactly what happens. I'm very interested in learning everything about this because this is the most. I've never been more frustrated by a mistake. So I'm at 60%. Get some healing. Oh, it's a little artifacting or something. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, so that was with the essence. I want to just see that one more time because I don't know what was going on visually. Okay, so 51, parried 1, 33. I don't know. But yeah, that was with the essence. So if I didn't use that, I die there 100%. And then that's the key even earlier. But yeah, so not lusting on the pull and lusting now. Yeah, so the raptor's out. Now he lusts, right? So it's like, okay, I mean, that is just a disastrous mistake. That is just such a bad mistake. But that shouldn't cause, like, you could lust never on this fight, and I should still not do the mistake I do here. So again, now this is actually a really important thing to understand here. This raptor being out for the exact amount of time that you want him to be out is paramount to your success. If you've never done this fight as a Blood DK on any challenging key, You have to understand, this is effectively the hardest boss in the game for Blood DK because he does a lot of serious damage in a short window, and you have really no way of dealing with it. Like for 4 seasons now, everybody always says that this is the worst. Like doing this fight is extremely difficult. Some people have used the word impossible as Blood DK. And it's because all 5 other tanks have an ability that they can just press while they're taking these 4 hits that it doesn't do much to them. Like it dramatically reduces the damage. You don't really have that as Blood DK. So my thought process going into this was, first of all, take this essence. This essence just completely should, anyway, trivialize this fight if you use it well. But more so, it gives you a CD for every one of these. The big problem, even with Ineffable Truth, is that you don't actually have a CD up for every one of them. And that is ultimately the mistake that we've been talking about here, talking about for months, years, actually, when people ask me about playing the Death Knight well. It's about using your CDs well, because a Death Knight, if you took Vamp Blood, Icebound, the Essence, Dancing Rune Weapon, any trinkets, anything like that, if you took all of that off your screen, you couldn't tank. Like if you did a 20 without any of those, you would not survive a pack. You would die to every single pack. That's just how weak the class is without those things. Passively, they are the least effective tank, 100%. But the spells and things they have that they can do inside CDs and with certain types of things like AMS to mitigate debuffs, and the kiting, the potential to kite, and also the very high percent parry. These things are ridiculously strong in the right situations. Using them well is paramount. But if you don't know how to use them well, just using them frequently will be used well enough to get where you're going. So that's kind of the summary of what I've been saying here. But this mob is using them well, okay? Because now you have 2 targets for your Blood Boil, 2 targets for your Hemostasis. And back when I used to use Bone Storm, this was a great time for Bone Storm, because effectively the extra healing from the second target would usually be enough with Bone Storm to not need a CD for one of them. But this is obviously not what I'm using anymore. So yeah, ideally, this mob is the target, but he's being cleaved heavy enough that King Dazar is going to transfer to his next pet the second Reba or Raban, whatever, Raban dies, okay? The second Raban dies, he should be transitioning to his next pet, which is not for a while still. So all these mistakes that we make here add up over time, okay? But yeah, you could also grip this thing if it charges to the far away player. You want to keep this thing in range of you. So as you see here, now here's a big problem. This is always a problem when the guy, the boss, King Dazar or whatever, he jumps away and then begins the blade combo before he's back to you. You need to be targeting the correct target. And as you see here, I am out of range of both. Like I'm out of range of Raban, and I am not facing Dazar. So these unlucky circumstances keep piling up. So I'm getting hit. You see this? I'm getting hit by blade combo, and I am not in range of anything. I am not using any spells on any target. I'm trying to grip a raptor that is 5 yards away from me because I feel like this is the order of things that need to be done. This is me mentally checked out from this fight, not taking it serious because I assume that we are going to crush this, because with Lust and everything that's happened up at this point, I feel like we are coasting to an easy 20 upgrade, and I'm effectively the reason that this is wrong. So you're seeing me take way too much damage from this. I literally I did everything wrong on that one, and it didn't kill me. Like we're fine. It didn't cause that many problems. But these small mistakes get me behind for the rest of the fight. And then this time, so I used the essence, and that's a really good usage there because he jumped away from me. So when he jumped away from me, he's still doing the blade combo. The essence is the best play there, and I kind of just get lucky. I didn't use it there. I wasn't planning to use it there on purpose. It's just how it went out. And that worked out perfectly because that's the only thing I could have did. I could not have death striked when he jumped away from me. I could not have gripped anything. There was no other play there other than just have the healer heal me through it without any active mitigation, quote unquote, being death strikes. So here is where things officially fall apart, okay? Tazala or whatever, the second raptor, he mounts this raptor, and this raptor will try to fear you, okay? This is the most challenging part of this fight as a Blood Death Knight, and probably for everybody in the group, because typically, if that fear happens, you have no way of dealing with the mechanic. Now, luckily, I can AMS the fear. It is a magic fear, so I can AMS it. Warrior can also get out of it, so that might also be a reason that Warrior doesn't have any trouble in this fight. but there should not be more than one. It's 8 million health, and this is the time that you want to get serious about this fight. So you either want to bloodlust or use a second potion or some CD here, and you need to burn this thing before that second fear happens, especially on a fortified. There is absolutely no way that this should be a problem. Maybe it's got more health on fortified, and maybe I got it backwards. I don't actually know. But all I know is when I come to this fight, I expect to see one fear, AMS, then nothing, and that's it. And that does not happen here. So it causes, what's going on with this? So it causes a very complicated situation that arises that I do not handle properly. And we're going to look at this in even more depth than we've been looking at this, okay? So first of all, I'm dodging the tornadoes. And now I'm thinking, now here we go. Now this is where the problem set in. Look at the CDs, okay? I have 11 seconds on Trinket, 10 seconds on Vamp Blood, and this is just screaming. You see that blue dude who's like, he's screaming at me, dude. He's like, come on, you haven't used me. I'm wide open. But I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to show you why I don't use them, okay? And I'm also going to explain to you the mistake I've been making with that too. So here we go. Let's see. We're going to AMS. Yeah. So AMS this one. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I don't need a CD. I can get by without a CD on this one because AMS is basically a CD for this. Like, you know, I shouldn't actually need any type of CD for most of these. I should just get lucky and parry one or two of the hits and then Death Strike for the second hit, the final hit. And that is effectively what has happened here. As you see, I barely survive it, but I do get lucky enough. Oh, right. And I forgot that I even did that. Oh, right. I forgot that I even did this. So yes, first hit. I mean, I'm basically not parrying any of the hits, right? Let's go and watch this all again. I parry the first hit. Absorb. Getting hit hard. Okay, here we go. That wasn't a hit. Here we go. Now it begins. 200k, 300k. Yeah, taking all the hits. Now I use Vamp Blood in panic because I'm thinking, well, I'm probably like of two minds at this point. I'm thinking, I don't think I survived this. Vamp Blood is up. I should use it. And of course, with the healer feared, potentially at this point he's not. But yeah, so I use Vamp Blood there. I do end up using Vamp Blood there. Okay, so now we've put ourselves in this position that ultimately leads the culmination to all the mistakes. You see this? This mob is at 400k health. Somebody didn't do something. I mean, we got a warrior doing 69k on this boss. Somebody didn't do something. I'm not going to blame anybody specifically, but here is all that we've been talking about. That was the the prologue. This is the chapter that you want to read, okay? So we get feared. Vamp Blood's still up. I'm at 100% health. I should be fine. But all I have to do is survive the next one. It should be easy. CDs are awkward though, aren't they? Oh wait, and I actually used the trinket? What the hell? Wow, I made even more mistakes than I thought I made. You know why I use it? I use the trinket because I'm scared of getting feared. That's why. Yep, I used the trinket because I'm scared of getting feared. So another mistake that I wasn't even aware I made until right now. I used the trinket because I was scared of taking extra damage, like having the mob hit me in the back basically while I'm feared, okay? So now I've committed all my CDs. Rune Weapon's not coming up anytime soon, no matter how many ineffable truths I have. Vamp Blood, it's gone. I mean, I just used it. It's 50 seconds. Trinket's gone for good. That's not going to get used again. AMS, none of that's going to save me. The only thing that's going to save me is either luck, parry, right? Get lucky, use runic power very well, or use Icebound Fortitude. Any of those three things. Luck, I can't control. If I don't get lucky, it's over. Runic power, I can use that. I could survive this even without any CDs easily, especially on a fortified. Should have no problems with that. Icebound, well, why don't I use it? Let's talk about why. First, let's see what happens. So here we go. Now, I think that guy dies to Quaking, actually. Let's go ahead and rewatch this one more time. I'm pretty sure this guy dies to Quake. So the warrior gets hit by the tornado, first of all. Listen, I get hit by the tornado all the time, but hopefully you're dodging them more than this, right? This guy's got 56% health. The fear is coming out. He's getting hit by something else. It's just a tornado damage. I mean, I'm pretty sure he died to the quake there. I'm not actually sure what he dies to. Oh, maybe it's going to say that guy's got that elitism helper. He's got Gale Slash, 240k. Let's see if it says he just dies. Probably just dies from the dot and not being able to heal him. But so now here we go. Here is the official cascade of events that caused me to deplete the key. I go to battle res the guy. I have 53 runic power. This is not the time to be wasting runic power on this guy's mistake. So his mistake causes me to make a ridiculous mistake that I do not have the potential to recover from given the current circumstances. Okay. So, and this is also during a quaking leap. So watch, it gets even worse. So I'm going to res him. All right. So there goes more than half my runic power. Quaking leap. So he starts away from me. As you see, no hemostasis. I have 1 charge of hemostasis. I should have charged that up when the Tazala was still alive. I could have easily done that as well. But here we go. I'm saying this on stream. I'm saying, I'm good. We'll be all right. It's fine. I got, whatever. We're going to be all right. But I have no runic power. So that's pretty much out. We can't double death strike through this. I won't generate enough in this 4-second window or whatever it is. It's like a 2-second window. It's even smaller than that. I will not have any CDs used. Okay, so no damage reduction whatsoever, other than armor, and I get no luck whatsoever. Look at this. Look at first. Oh, and I get hit by the tornado too. Wow, how about it? Every possible mistake you can make. So that's 2, 4 dead, 330k, and that is the key. Also, no battle reses. That's the other thing that really sucks about the comps that people are running right now. No battle reses. It's really unfortunate. I'm the only battle res. Historically, I would say that that's a good thing. I feel like I shouldn't ever need a battle res, but I'd love to see a death log of this because I'm pretty sure the tornado did more damage than I expected it to. But yeah, that guy dying and then me spending, I should have. So like after this, people said like hindsight 2020, I shouldn't have resed him. If I didn't res him, one of those 3 things would have happened. We would have had enough runic power, 50 plus runic power. That's plenty. Double death strike. We're good. We're going to survive this, no problem. But I did nothing. I have no defense going into this mechanic, and it ultimately is the reason that this key went from an easy upgrade. It's also because of this freaking tornado, of course. But yeah, as you see, just getting pure, like I could have parried any of those. I could have parried all of those. You know what I mean? I could have did so many things. But the reason I don't use Icebound Fortitude there is maybe more bizarre than you might think. This is a mistake that I guess I've been making the whole time, and I don't really know what to say other than it's my fault. Like I should have used Rune Web. I should have used Icebound there, and the reason I was saving it was because typically soon to come is going to be these like spears. They're going to fall from the ceiling and they're going to kind of create a path this way. Okay. Now, if you stand right here where I am now, you cannot be hit by them. They always spawn right here. This is where they start. Okay. And then they go this way. Okay. So what I've been doing was just standing right here. And then like, I assume that it doesn't get that far. I thought maybe it only went for a couple feet or whatever. Like I thought maybe it kind of stopped over here. But then eventually another, like it comes back into play over on this side. So it comes from this direction up here. You see the mouse? Comes from this direction. Okay. And at that point, I thought it was a different mechanic. Like I thought it was another full duration of that mechanic. But in reality, it just goes a full 360. I didn't know this. I don't know how I didn't know this. I just didn't. I just found out. Okay. So it does a full 360. So that means it's going to stop right here. Like if it starts right here, it's going to stop right here too. So on the first, like when it starts, I stand on the right side. And then what I should do is move to the left side. Just move over here, basically to the start line. So no matter what, it ends where it starts and I never get hit. Instead, what I've been doing is trying to move through it because I assumed it was going to go for another 20, 30 yards. I didn't know that I could just move 5 yards and I was going to be out of it. That's a ridiculous mistake. But so I've been saving Icebound for this because in previous times we've done this, I get stunned because I'm not good enough at navigating the spears, even though that's how the fight's probably meant to have gone. I don't think you're meant to have skipped the entire mechanic. I assume you're meant to either run or run through it and navigate that potential danger. But that's the mistake. So ultimately, the key is depleted. I wasted a 20 King's Rest. Nobody really cared, but I care. Like, I was very upset about this. If you watch me do this live, you would know I was extremely upset about this. And it's because I knew exactly what was happening for 100% of this fight. A bad lust and a stupid, first of all, bad lust, a terrible job on killing Tazala. There should be no reason that mob does not die before the second fear happens. And more so, a dumb death by that warrior puts me in a position of unrecoverability. And literally the only thing I had to do was press a single 3-minute CD that I'm sitting on and saving because I'm so scared of this stupid mechanic that I didn't even understand. Like, I'm doing it wrong. I don't even know I'm doing it wrong. I'm sitting on an incredibly important CD that the class has access to, all because I'm worried about doing a mechanic wrong that I'm already doing wrong. Think about that. That, when you ask me, what should I do as a new blood DK, is don't find yourself in these positions, whatever that means. Whether it's research, saving CDs, not saving CDs, using potions, not using potions, kiting, not kiting, you cannot put yourself in these positions. If you do, the class cannot support you. It's just not physically capable of supporting you with these mistakes in tow. So this is the perfect summary. I am so glad that this happened to me, even though it was such a gutting. It ruined my whole afternoon yesterday. I am so glad that this happened because you can now learn from this. I have learned from this. And now you also know that if for some reason you didn't, I feel like I'm the only person on the planet who didn't know this. But yeah, when the spears come out from the sky, make sure you're on the right side of this little golden river. And then as they move that way, just move to the left side of the golden river. Then you don't have to worry about saving your best defensive CD for something that doesn't matter. Okay, so thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. But I hope that this helped new players and new tanks in general, even if you're not Blood DK. A cautionary tale here. Don't commit resources to other people's mistakes. Do not let other people put you in a position where you are not of the right level of confidence, right? Because that's what happened. Us not lusting on the previous pack made me think that when we survived it, like, okay, I'm in this position now where we can't possibly lose, so I'll pay less attention. We make a bunch of mistakes. I'm like, how unlucky can I get? I mean, I didn't parry any of those hits. How is that going to continue? Just don't find yourself in this position. As the tank, you have to be the staple of the group. You have to be solid. You have to be able to make no mistakes. If you're going to succeed in challenging, no communication content, you have to be able to predict these issues and make no mistakes here. So that's that. Let me know what you think.